quality with the new mic, which is mounted on a container full of cat treats. But it's okay because it's gonna hopefully work out. How's the audio quality? How do I sound? Do I sound like absolute doo doo caca? Tell me, I want to know. Also, we'll not be picking this best lock today, just so y'all know. I'm not NOLA, and SFIC sucks. All right, how are we sounding? Decent, or did I waste wicked amounts of money on Does it really sound caca? Oh dear. How are we sounding? How are we doing? It sounds better now. Okay, cool. So I can't be too far away from the mic, because if all right, so you're saying right now sound not very good, right? We're just doing testy McTest tests. Right now the sound is not good, right? You can hear me, but it's like I'm still very much like, yeah, I'm still very okay. So we're better now when it's closer to me. Cool. All right. So hold on. That means Ben is talking today. Very professional. Oh wait, no, let's not put it right on my collar because it's going to go very close. Very professional, Mikey. How do I sound? Am I sexy now? Would you date me? Yeah, Ben is talking. All right. Yeah, I'm still working out the whole thing. Maybe going with I don't know. These microphone dudes were cheap and inexpensive overall, and I mean they do seem to improve the sound quality on the videos overall. I do. Too sexy. Yeah, I don't really. I do need a comb. All right. But yeah, I invested in the mic. Hopefully, it makes the audio quality somewhat less doo doo caca. And if thank you, Zoe the cat. Wow. But yeah, so hopefully the sound quality is better, especially with the kitty cats recordings. It sounds better, at least to my lay person's ear. But who knows? We'll see. Everybody watching, come say hi in the chat. Ooh, motorcycle. And I also have the second mic. I guess I can take that out, and if we want to interview any of the kitty cats that come up and chit chat. Ben has been talking today. I also kind of I wonder if, yes, press the like button as per the request of Zoe the cat. The other cats will be my cats will be making appearances throughout the show. Ben has been talking all day. He doesn't know it, but he's going to have a bath later. It's going to suck for him. Or at least he's going to not enjoy it, but it's going to be good for him. Baby Blue is doing pretty fabulously. He is relaxing over here to my right. I will show you as soon as I pick this lovely Stanley, which is actually quite easy to pick, but it does. See, I'm hoping that like I can. I'm hoping that I could like put something here and it will pick up clicks somewhat. It'll be like your ASMR lockpicking. Can you hear the clicks over the dulcet sounds of my voice? Are you not entertained? You should hit the like button if you are entertained. You should also subscribe. This is me using the power of persuasion. I know the sound of my voice is driving you almost crazy. You've never heard something so dulcet, so buttery smooth in your life. Not even I can take myself seriously on this bullshit. All right. But while I'm bullshitting, I'm also not paying attention to what my... James, I am trying to pick this lock. I'm also not succeeding very much. And then we're going to just be hanging out. We're going to be bullshitting, and we're going to be hanging out with my cats. But right now, we're trying to pick this lock, and I'm working out with a new audio thing. So I'm trying to, like, get it so that the sound of pin clicks are at least somewhat audible. But most importantly, since this has a very satisfying noise when it opens, I want shout pops to be audible. So yeah, in other news, had a lovely day at work yesterday. I'm just bullshit. We're just bullshitting right now. If you're in the chat, feel free to yap and bullshit all you want. Just, you know the rules: no political sloganeering and no religious sloganeering. Other than that, and you know, obviously, don't be like a piece of shit. Other than that, anything goes. You know, hop in the chat and yap. How's your day been? What's been going well? What's been going poorly? Ben has entered the chat. Benny. Benny. Mr. Ben. Mr. Ben. Woo. Mr. Ben knocked over the microphone. Happy Vietnam Veterans Day. What a horrible war that was. So, I have not trouble. These picks are the Covert Instruments Apex picks, and they are actually pretty usable right out of the package. And they don't really need any polishing or sanding. And also, at that level of shine, it's almost irrelevant because it's not a working shine. What up, Dean P? I'm from Bangladesh is now going to be part of the channel lore of this friggin' thing. You had to be there to be. You had to be there to be there. Okay. Yeah. All right. Now, as to the babiest of baby. You did, sir. These old Stanleys are beautiful locks and they make great noises. All right. Hello, let's check in with the baby blue. Baby blue. Baby blue. Baby blue is a very comfy boy. He has his designated spots that he really likes. There's this chair, that chair, and right over there. And I'm fine with all three of them. Beep, beep, blue. Baby blue. Hi Delbert, how you doing, man? Hello Rona, indeed the best baby blue. He's doing very well. He's doing most excellently. Baby blue. Baby blue. Baby blue. Thank you, Matthew. He is a very cute baby boy. He's no, he's not the baby boy. He's the baby blue. The baby boy is elsewhere. Yes, Mr. Ben? Oof. That's pretty devious trouble. I think after like my my father would have been profoundly upset if I did that to him. But on the other hand, although all my children are of the feline variety, but I feel like if I had a human child, I'd be like, yo, could you like maybe not do that again? But also like I kind of approve of the craftiness and the deviousness. Let's see if we can harness that in a productive manner. Like you'd make one heck of a hacker. We're gonna make you a spook for the CIA or something like that. Baby blue, kitty cat, kitty cat, kitty cat, kitty cat, kitty cat, kitty cat. Ben is talking, peeps. Hold on, let me grab the mic. We're gonna have to interview Mr. Ben. Why are you yelling at the mic? Mr. Ben! What's up? Yes, sir. What's so fascinating outside? Yes, sir. No, but I want to understand why you're like right up at the. Hello, Gina. I just want to understand what. Yes, sir. But why are you trying to escape via my window? Also, there's a screen, so you're not going to do anything other than cost me my security deposit. Not that that isn't cooked already, but. Mr. Ben. Hey, yeah, yeah, that's really not very interesting. Still. Yeah, the mic is being dumb. Can you hear me now? Yeah. Yes, but the real question is, can you still hear me now that I put my AirPods away? All right. Thank you, free samples. That is more information than I needed to know for the rest of my life ever. However, if it helps you, if I help you evacuate your bowels, then glad I could be of service. I do, however, recommend Metamucil. It's a much better stool softener than laughter. Just saying. Okay, guys, let's keep the chat slightly civil here. My superhero name is the Incredible Dipshit. But yeah, we're just gonna lounge today. We're hanging out. I had quite a fun day at work yesterday. Uh, because I work at Universal Studios Hollywood, and because it's some sort of anniversary of the movie Jaws. One of the restaurants is doing a Jaws themed eatery, so they're doing a bunch of like fish and chips and lobster rolls. Yeah, we are doing picking, Delbert. We are very much doing picking. This is going to be a fairly picking heavy stream. As a matter of fact, I am going to do a hold on 1 second. You don't need to look at my ugly mug anymore. It's the return of the brass aces, this time mounted in a vise. Oh, Delbert, I smoked before we went live. We're good on that. We're good on that. Bet. I'd also ask chat if we could keep the intellectual humor at least. Oh, Delbert, I highly recommend that. In fact, I recommend most of the chat smoke themselves stupid, assuming it is you are able to without getting in trouble legally, and you are of the legal smoking age in your district. However, I will also contend that some people in the chat don't need to smoke themselves stupid. They already are. And that is obviously not you, Delbert, but I do wonder the intellect of people who go into chats and discuss their BMs. Just a personal thing, you know. We're picking locks and hanging with cats. I do, however, agree with Zoe the cat. Dare to be stupid. It is fun to be stupid, but in the words of the poet 6us9us, are you dumb, stupid, or dumb? Huh? You know, not all stupidity is the same. Sometimes you're having stupid fun, and sometimes you're just being stupid. Is that what it? Come on. Benny! Meow! Indeed, as the bumper sticker on my Vice says, safety third. Rather humorously enough, there's also a lotto sticker on my Vice. So, you know, safety first. We'll split the difference and say safety second. Fun first. No, just kidding. Safety always first. Do not... nothing is worth hurting yourself so badly that you are forever changed or that you lose your life. Hello, Mickey Allison. How you doing? So, yes. Also, Elijah, that's rather unfortunate that it's still illegal, but, you know. You know, we all have certain things that it's like, I guess, you know, it's still, keep in mind, on a federal level in the United States, it's still a Schedule 1 controlled substance. Well, I can't believe I'm about to plagiarize Jeff Dunham, but have you ever seen footage of the school for suicide bombers? Man, it's explosive. Did you cut the red wire or the blue wire? I don't know. Fuck. Why not just... Here's my question. Why not just cut both wires? Why would there be a... Like, if there's a tamper switch, then it's gonna resist any attempt to tamper. And if there isn't, then just cut the whole circuit completely. Why trouble with, oh, you're gonna cut the red wire or the blue wire? No, cut fucking both wires. And the white wire too. Cut everything. Now, if you really want an adventure, somehow find a way to simultaneously lick the terminals of a car battery. That's fun. No, Zoe the cat. What's the joke of a colorblind bomb technician? Oh, yeah. As a matter of fact, if you're ever on the Formula One grid, lick the curve system. Anyways, all this is to say, yesterday I made a shit ton of lobster rolls for people. And because it's a theme park and because you're paying theme park prices, it's $30 for the frickin' lobster roll. And that's a lot of money for food. Just saying. Also, why can't I pick this frickin' lock? I'm at a very awkward angle. Okay, you know what? Hold on. I might be sandbagging, but I'm far better picking these in hand than I am in the vise. They're like slipping everywhere. Wait, but I mean, as far as that thing goes, Delbert, correct me if I'm wrong, but most light rail, because we actually have fairly decent light rail in LA, and it gets better. It's getting quite a lot better soon. But light rail uses overhead lines like trolleys. You really should really be preferring the subway where they got the third rail. That's the one you want. Especially if you really got to use the bathroom, you get a nice, good, consistent P string. Maybe you can figure out a way to electrocute. I'm being a real stinkus malinkus right now. But yeah, also funny story, true story. So apparently, you know, LA has had subways since I was a very small child, and sometime between now and the beginning of next year, I think, finally there will be a subway stop just about a 10-minute walk from where I grew up. Isn't that great? I haven't lived there in like a decade now, but okay. Doing the Lord's work, City of Los Angeles, at a snail's pace. Oh, I love my city, though. How about y'all? How's the public transportation system? Where y'all at? Are you out somewhere rural where there is no public transportation? Are you in a place with actual good public transportation? Like, I don't know. I'm assuming not America. Um, That's one thing I was going to talk about, that I was going to discuss last week when in the marathon stream, was just how good LA's public transportation used to be. I think I've shown on streams when I'm driving, like, how large portions of the 101 freeway, the current passing lane is was originally cannot speak the English right now. Was originally a lane for a streetcar, or not a streetcar, a tram. I guess that's the same thing, really. But yeah, big ups to General Motors for really like lobbying every single city to tear up its trams and streetcars and rail lines and build bus lines. Big ups to them. Good job, guys. That wouldn't backfire until it backfired. But that's funny. I will say this: buses are probably the most efficient form of public transit for the rural areas, because they require very little infrastructure that isn't already there. But I live in the second most populous city in the United States, and we depend far too much on the bus relative to heavy rail. Also, can I just say, this is David's soapbox moment of the week. Where's P-dubs for Mr. Yeah. So this is David's soapbox moment of the week, and I'm sorry because this one's already open too. But I don't understand why everybody picks 7240s friggin' with this top of the keyway. Like, let me navigate from the bottom of this already power-centric keyway. I don't understand that. I think it's a case of top of the keyway being very in and everyone kind of deciding to go along with it. And I think it's kind of an emperor wears no clothes situation because the bottom of the keyway is not relevant. So just use a nice like slack profile or like a short hook and go through the keyway rather than having to go with like some deep hook and like that's just my opinion. Whatever gets, I mean, boink. Look, open is open, but that's just my POV. Anyways, we're throwing the open locks in the open locks pile over here. But the one we're not throwing is the Stanley because obviously these are all discontinued, and this one is really hella nice. I love these. Like, and I will say one, I love these. They make great shackle pops. We'll do it one more time. Bang! I love a nice like shackle pop that sounds like the bolt of a certain cordless hole puncher type device thing. But yes, I completely agree with Delbert. Open is open, but I'm just, in my opinion, I think it is just a better way to pick the 7240 and indeed the Abus keyway in general. Yes, but Delbert, you absolutely should get the Reaper turners. They are, in my opinion, the best turners I've ever used. Like, if I'm going like one pick, one turner, it's not actually going to be this combo because this is the 32,000s because I only have one 40,000s and it's in my car kit. But it would be the 40,000s Reaper bottom of the keyway turner and the crescent hook. Yeah, I would go with the crescent hook, but the Mick Tickler is absolutely an option, and the crescent hook is very similar to the Reaper #1. Thank you so much for stopping by, Zoe the cat. Have a great evening. I'll see you around, man. Have a great day at work. Anyways, we continue. All right, you know what, Elijah? I hope you don't mind, but I'm promoting you to moderator because we've had some weird. Oh wait, hold on. How do you do this? All right, add as moderator. Okay, yeah, standard moderator. That's what it was. Yeah, we're making you the moderator because it's, yeah, Elijah is currently the mod with the most because you're in almost all of my lives, good sir. And there's been some weirdos coming through today with the BSery. Boom! And now he's upgraded to blue. All the mods are the baby blues of the chat. Yeah, I really like this crescent hook a lot. Or sorry, Delbert. I think it's a great profile. It's profoundly nimble, like sneaking through power-centric keyways. Like, I'm also having like fairly decent success. Granted, I still hate this keyway. The one thing I will say, Delbert, is I'm also like, I think like one thing that Lady Locks kind of made a mistake on her chat is that like she has like a zillion mods. I'm trying to keep the mods like fairly low. But yeah, you're probably definitely next in line, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, it's like it can be like I want the chat to flow smoothly, and What is he saying? Person outside the window. But anyways, but yeah, as I was saying, sorry, y'all fucking with my ADHD. But yeah, it's also really good for like these right angle keyways because it's very good at like you can go like at the right angle, turn slightly, and then you have a full range of motion through the pick. So yeah, I really like this profile. Like I said, on the it's also, pretty much the Reaper number one, although my Reaper number one is very overused because it is my most used pick when I'm out in the field, as it were, on bridges. So it's seen a lot of abuse through a lot of shitty locks. So while initially these probably looked almost exactly the same, although the crescent hook of the apex is obviously longer and a little bit more pronounced. But yeah, overuse, this is really flattened out, and it's probably going to be the next pick of mine that breaks, which is fine. You know, if you pick a lot of shit locks, you're going to break picks eventually because sometimes you just got to force stuff. And I do pick a lot of shit locks, but we're trying to not pick too many shit locks today. So I got the whole Reaper set, and then I'm on my second McTickler. So my McTickler is a shop shot McTickler, but that's not because I was like, I broke my McTickler. I over McTickled on a bridge one day, and my McTickler McTickled. The it can no longer do tickle tickle anymore, or it could no longer do tickle tickle anymore. So I bought a so I got an so actually for a while I couldn't do anything about it because at that time when it broke there was no chop shop yet. But then when the chop shop came out, I'm like, well, I got to replace my Covert Instruments picks that broke. Let's go. So it's like, okay, break out new McTickler, new 25,000s 5 peak rate because yeah, I broke that one too on a bridge. I mean, yeah, I highly recommend that, Delbert. I think, there's definitely a buildable case. You also could, consider, you know, I mean, Lady Locks would probably be the person to talk to, although, she might also be governed by like, any contract she might have signed as an employee of the company to like not divulge certain things. But if the Apex picks are going to be coming out to the Chop Shop soon, and you can get individual Apex picks, that might also be a pretty sweet play where you can get like instead of one of their Evos, you can get like design your own 5 pick Apex case. Not to say that the Evos aren't like very well curated, but like if I had to pick like only 5 Apex picks, I wouldn't necessarily pick short, medium, or let's say what would be the most basic one? Yeah, short, medium, deep hooks, 4 peak and 5 peak rake in either 20 or 25,000s. Like I said, this is probably my favorite pick. So this would probably replace the deep hook because I don't really like deep hooks a lot. It's always like that, Delbert. Like I spent big, like I've got I was coming to the end of my of my of my $1,000 gift card for the pack lock pick from Covert, and so I'm like, what the heck? But okay, I'll like spend big for the July 4th sale. So I bought the entire Apex thing, and not regretting purchase. Do not regret purchase at all. But 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 that like current I will say the one thing that I bought from Covert Instruments that I've kind of like, okay, this is cool and this is fun, but this is maybe also kind of a bit useless, and maybe was or dare I say it, a waste of money, is the butterfly comb. It's I really enjoy the graph pick and can totally see that, but I think the butterfly comb maybe needs some improvement. That would be my honest opinion, and I'm not paid by Covert Instruments, and I don't get, well, although they did give me the $1,000 gift certificate, but I did pick a freaking Paclock 98 Pro at like midnight in 40-degree weather in the exact same spot where Paul Walker crashed into something and died. So, in fairness, I did, whatever, regardless, doesn't matter. I've never been an employee of Covert Instruments. They've never sent me tax forms or anything like that. I merely won a sweepstakes by them or a challenge by them. I don't know what the terms and conditions are, because otherwise, vis-a-vis. I'm also bullshitting right now and completely like blah, 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 blah. But yeah, I think it would be really cool if Build Your Own Evo comes to the shop, to the chop shop soon. See, this the moments like this, I always. But yeah, I kind of sort of regret buying the butterfly comb. I just like, I can't do any ball song tricks, and like, how many comb picks do you need? Like, I have like the pocket combs, which I would consider fairly interchangeable with the ergo combs, which I don't have, although can totally be down with them. And like, there's the combs that come in either the Covert Companion or the Covert Companion Pro, whichever one you have, or if you have both, whatever. Like, do I really need another comb set? Also, I can't do any ball song tricks, like I mentioned. I really like these Abus 4140s. I think they're kind of sneaky good fun. I know they're not ranked right now, but they're definitely, like, I'd say high orange. Pinning wise, they pick a lot like an Abus 7240, although they only have 5 pins, and obviously being in the laminated body makes it slightly different. But I love these Abus 41s. I think they're great fun. But yeah, that all being said, now I have less than $100 left on that gift certificate, and they're coming out with a disc container pick soon, and that's in the vault, and that kind of I'm like, I like the the butterfly comb. It's fun. It's fun to play with. Blah 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 blah. But I would much rather have spent whatever money on the gift card that was on a disc detainer pick. It's just a more functional thing, and it would progress my picking skill and hobby far more than a butterfly comb ever could. But hindsight is 2020. Blah 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 blah, etc. etc. Big thanks to Para for sending me this Federal 250 brass lock. It is beautiful. It is amazing. I will say this, the bitting is kind of a little bit like, it's all low cut, so it's a little bit wah wah. But yeah, come to Universal's. Well, God, my ADHD is going crazy today. But yeah, come to Universal Studios Hollywood sometime soon. You will not meet me because cooks stay back of house, but they're commemorating 50 years of Jaws or something like that. And one of the restaurants is doing all Jaws themed stuff. You can get yourself fish and chips. You can get yourself a lobster roll. you can get yourself a burger called the Shark Bite Burger, which is a burger with brisket. As some of you know, I grew up Orthodox Jewish. I don't really eat lobster, not because of any religious reasons, because I currently would call myself an atheist probably. But although I still, register very strongly with my Jewish roots. I'm ethnically Jewish, if you will. But well, sorry, ADHD. What was I saying? Judaism distracts me. It also traumatizes me. Anybody else in the chat Jewish? We can speak to that experience. All right, no, okay. Okay, I'm picking this very poorly. Relax. I'm also a little bit annoyed that I completely lost my train of thought. Hi, DTI Diva 731. You're watching me struggle to pick a lock that I should be able to pick in seconds. But it's okay. We'll get it. On camera is always different than when you're just lying down chilling. And then after this one, maybe we'll take a break and do some kitty-related doo-doo caca. All right, since I can't remember what I was talking about in relation to Judaism, I'm just going to say, Delbert, I highly recommend the building a set with the Garrison case if you want to. Especially, hello, Mittens Purrs. Yeah, especially if you're cool with popsicle stick handles. Like, I don't mind popsicle stick handles one bit, and in fact, I kind of like them. Like, I like the, these things, but I mean, you can see my EDC kit, which should be in my car, but for some reason is not, but it's all popsicle stick handles. Like, the only exceptions, and they're not really exceptions, are these two, the Half Diamond and City Rake from Sparrows, which the only reason they have brass scales on them, which is still technically the same popsicle stick, is because Sparrows doesn't do scales. Oh, if you're going to do that, then hell yeah, go crazy. Thank you, Mittens Purrs. It's a well-curated kit. It's also, as you can see, based on the actual case, it's well used. It is not a hanger queen, as it were. Or it is not a garage queen kit. You know who is a bit of a garage king, though? Oh no, this is a disaster. Look at Garage King Baby Blue, just chilling. Just absolute relaxius maximus. But yeah, thank you, Para, for the Federal 250. Beautiful brass lock. Also sent me this Federal 200. Which, rather specially, This one has the has a restricted keyway, not the standard American lock keyway. And it's actually a rather annoying keyway to navigate. It's pretty open up top, but the bottom is quite paracentric. But yeah, very cool lock. Big thanks to Para. It's also a 6-pinner, which is nice, and pretty tricky bidding because high cuts at the night. You know, max lift on one, and then very tricky bidding. Yeah, Para is a huge. So basically, what happened, Elijah, is that Para is a huge fan of Federal Lock, and I found on eBay a Federal Lock pinning kit that he had been looking for quite some time, and I guess to repay the fact that I was like, "Yo, can you buy this so I don't have to?" You know, he sent me some treats as a finder's fee, I suppose. So he sent me some Federal Locks because he's a huge collector of Federal Locks. I also have some Federal Locks, but he more than he more than doubled the collection. Also sent me this 200 IC with a best core D keyway. Which this one I would like my money back, Para, because the shackle does not. It needs to be. It's very stiff. I'd like my money back. I'd like to lodge a complaint against Etsy on this one. And in case my vocal patterns are not obvious enough, this is pure sarcasm. Para, you're so awesome. All right, let's try to do the restricted keyway shuffle. Sorry, I'm completely blocking the view with my hand. Oops, and I dropped pins there. But yeah, big thanks to Para. He's an awesome dude. Convenient Para-themed cup. Also, you'll note, by the way, that unlike Lady Locks and Pocket Woman, I cannot summon Para. He has not magically showed up. My summoning powers are limited to non-existent. You think I should try raking at Ken's Toys? All right, we'll give it a shot. Which kind of rake should I use? 4 peak, 5 peak, 2 peak, city rake, whatever these things are called again. I can't remember. Hog snout or something like that. No, this one since I'm already holding it. This is not what I would call a very rakeable lock. As you can see, the bidding is quite extreme. So I'm sure I'm not saying it's not rakeable, but you're going to need a raker better than me to rake this guy easily. Especially it's got very, very heavy spring tension. As many Federal Locks do, I might add. That being said, I have single pin picked it in the past. I just want to find. I'm not liking the kind of lack of. I wish I had my 40,000s Reaper turner. Rake it with a hook. That would be zipping, or I'm not gonna. Yeah, here's the thing. I'm not McNally, and I don't pretend to. Although I can do some fun McNally tricks every now and then. I do have my moments where I can stunt on Master Lock. If y'all want me to stunt on Master Lock, throw it in the chat like, hey, David, we need you to punk Master Lock for a second. No, that's what I'm saying, Delbert. This has got very good bidding. So if I wanted to rake it, what I would actually probably do is, first off, I would use a 40,000s turner because, like I said, it's very heavy spring tension, and this is starting to flex too much. So we're actually going to cheat, and I'm going to pull out the 40,000s one. Hello, Silvana. How are you? This is the first live with the new mic, so we're trying things out, but it may or may not work. All right. I'm going to pull out. This is crossing of this. This is cross contamination of kits. You should not do this, folks. But this is going to give me much better control of the core, which is important. I wish they would sell individual 40,000s Reaper turners in the chop shop, but they only sell them as a 3-pack. And I do not need any more 32,000s or 50,000s. I need 3 more of the 40,000s is what I need. Hey, anybody employed by Covert Instruments in the chat, can you like put in, David Romano, the Lockpicking Meower, has requested like the 3-pack of Covert of Reaper 40,000s bottom of the key. Jesus Christ, dude. I think it's time for me to take a drink. Stop talking and take a drink. Salud. What am I drinking? Peach lemonade from work from yesterday. And before everybody asks, of course it has been refrigerated overnight. Do not leave lemonade out. I mean, you can leave lemonade out, but you may not enjoy the end result. Oh, I'm not going to Ken's Toys because it's a little bit, it's pretty well lubed. It's, or rather, should I say, it functions pretty smoothly in and of itself. Hi, True Builder. It's just, I'm doing fine. I did have quite a busy day at work yesterday, making many lobster rolls, which were which cost many different people many muches of dollars. But it's also just kind of, it's on the warm side of late right now, so I'm just like, I'm part of that. Well, I mean, that's one way to visit Nirvana, but I really want to meet Dave Grohl, to be honest with you. Yeah, this one, like most Federal locks, is all spools except for one pin. It's just like I said, it's the biggest thing with picking these Federal locks is that they have exceedingly high spring tension and it engages quite strongly. But yeah. Otherwise, all is well. But yeah, sweatiness is going to be happening over the summer. It's just an unfortunate fact of life. Y'all should have seen me while I was washing dishes last night at work. Holy crap. It was not good. I don't know if I want to pick this lock today. It's hard. This one's hard. No. All right, I finally got some core movement and a false set of sorts. So, all right, we're moving. So, no, Silvana. Well, okay. So, allow me to clarify. When I mean dishes, I don't mean like you know, the stuff the customers use. I mean uh, like uh, knives and cutting boards and serving tongs and spatulas and stuff like that from the line. I'm talking about the baskets from the deep fryers. Um, any large Cambros or whatever. That's the responsibility of the cooks at many restaurants at many restaurants and at Universal specifically. That being said, thankfully they use mostly disposable plates and stuff like that. So the only thing that really needs to be washed by park services is the like trays that they serve on. I mean, and also my other, I'm doing my best, Delbert. These are a little. I mean, it is what it is, Silvana. Because, like, a big plus is in a lot. Is that Park Services does the floors and stuff like that, which is huge. Because, like, dishes, I don't mind. Mopping floors when it's midnight almost, that fucking sucks. So, like, yeah, not having to like mop the floors and like do all that crap. Like, no, once the cooking related stuff is clean, the cooks leave, and I'm fine with that. And a lot of stuff, because Universal is a huge company, is fairly self cleaning. Like, you know, the ovens are pretty self cleaning. Like, you just hit a couple of buttons and throw in some care tablets that come pre-packaged. So, and literally the machine will tell you like, okay, you need two of these tablets and two of these tablets, and you put them in individual places, and then and it's off to the races with you. I mean, at Universal, Silvana, the sous chefs are really a supervisory position. They don't do anything like that. It's all the line cooks like me. Um, Oh no no no! Oh no no no! True Builder. What I'm saying is that the cooks that at Universal the cooks don't need to do the floors at all. We don't touch the floors, which is great. Give me dishes over floors any day of the week and twice on Sunday or Saturday, since I actually worked at Universal yesterday, not today. Although they called me today in the morning for like an 8:30 shift, and I got off work yesterday at 10:30, and I had to do stuff for my other job for the houses. So yeah, so there was that. But yeah, and in my job for the houses, it's just me. So once again, I'm doing dishes, and in that one, I do occasionally have to do the floors. But I mean, look, if you don't do, sorry, I'm repositioning myself. If you don't do, look, like if it's just you and you don't do the floors, that's asking for, but like not the song, the actual presence of the animal. Delbert, I'm really doing my best to channel my 1100 hate because this lock is really starting to piss me off. This restricted keyway and the extreme bidding is. Thank you, Leo Durepos, for the sub. Baby Blue says thank you also. This is a terrible view of him. All right, this lock is annoying me. Hi, Bray. Ah! All right. Nothing is set over there. I'm not happy. Whoa! I'm not happy with the way I'm picking this. By the way, I'm loving as this like friggin' gold D9, this brown belt lock is like darn it. Darn it. Darn it, darn it, darn it, darn it. Darn it. Oh no no no! I don't cook in my apartment for the houses. I mean, unless I'm feeling extremely lazy. And it would also, for the record, it would be La Cucaracha, not El Cucaracha. Although also for the record, I'm one to talk because although I do speak Spanish fairly decently, I never have taken a single class a day in my life in the actual Spanish language. So confusing la and el is actually something. It's actually one of those things I tend to do more than somebody who speaks at my level should. But it's just it's a side effect of just how I learned Spanish. But yeah, in my apartment, I've seen a cuca once or twice, but they do not survive. Most insects do not survive in this house because if the cats can see them, they will hunt them. Lastimada. All right. All right. We're going to try it top of the keyway for a second, and then if not, we'll move on to a different lock that is also federal lock, and it is very cool. I wish I could karate chop it. This isn't one of those. Unfortunately, this isn't one of those you are using a blank locks. It can be opened using a blank lock. This is one of those Oh, this is actually something very good that I would actually. I would. I sorry, verbal fail there for a second, but yeah, this is a lock that I would actually use. Um, is it the greatest lock in the world? No, not by a long shot. But would I use it? Hell yeah! Like to like secure my own personal belongings. Hell yeah! It's a well-made lock. It's all steel. It's got a nice, tough core, ball-bearing locking mechanism. We have a false set. That that mean that means all the standard pins are set. Here's the thing: in this 6-pin lock, there is exactly one standard pin, so I have set one pin. A damn sight better, Elijah. I'll also add that in the state, and keep this in mind, in most of the world, Masterlock calls them Excel, but in the United States, we're very obsessed with this macho alpha culture, which is kind of vomit-inducing. They call them the Magnum. Oh yeah, brother. My lock's a Magnum, because that's like it's like the semi flagship line at friggin' Home Depot, and they just know that people in Oakley sunglasses and beer guts are going into the comedy aisle, and they're like, "I need a lock, Magnum, baby." Which is hilarious to me because like they end up buying like a freaking Magnum M1 or an M5, which is functionally speaking a Master Lock number 1 or a Master Lock number 5. It's the same core. It's made of Jello. I'm also a little bit jealous of you guys outside of the States because they also sell the Excel brass editions over there. And I am a sucker for laminated brass padlocks. Oh no, the Magnums are not susceptible to the karate chop attack either, because they do have the one basic thing you would want from a padlock, which is a ball bearing locking mechanism. But I mean, as far as quality of the core, it's terrible. It's a basic 4-pin master lock core. They're awful. Here, allow me to punk master lock for a second, just to prove this. All right, this lock is really annoying, by the way. It's And by annoying, I mean it's alarmingly difficult for a green belt lock. All right, this is actually the first lock I ever bought to pick. It's a Master Lock number 3. The bidding is sad. Just, just, it's pretty sad. But when I first started picking, this thing took me hours to get open. We all have to start somewhere. You know? Oh, Diana Ross said, "Nothing from nothing leaves nothing." That being said, At this point, we're going to punk master lock really quickly because this exact same 4-pin core is also used in the master lock Magnum and Excel locks, with some exceptions. But the vast majority use this same core. So we have been seeing me struggle to pick this lock using a turning tool of some type and a pick. Well, for this one, we're going to throw the pick away. We don't need that because we just need a turning tool, which we're going to stick in the wrong way, and another turning tool, which we're going to stick in the right way. Ah, I backed it out. So, sorry, I found the core. Glad to know the new mic is working good. We're trying to punk master lock and I'm failing and I'm upset about that. I'm big sad. All right, as I was saying, one turning tool, second turning tool. This is my favorite way to punk master lock. We don't need any picks. Wah, wah. So you just got to line it up correctly, and there you go. You know, that being said, there is one exception to the Master Lock Magnums / Excels all suck, and that would be this one. This one's rather used, but this is the Excel or Magnum M930. This one is especially not shit because, as you guys who know, pick locks know, that is not the standard keyway. If you know, you know. Oh yeah, this is the Master 400 Bravo or 400B Lotto keyway. And somewhere I have the key to it, but I bet you $10 says it's upstairs, and I'm the biggest dipshit in the history of dipshittery to ever dipshit. Oh no, I'm a dumbass. The key's right here. Yeah. Not super great bidding, but with the pretty paracentric keyway or with the somewhat paracentric keyway, all those high cuts can get kind of annoying. But yeah. This does make a very decent lock, but you know, nothing super special, but especially with the Lotto keyway, it's fully competent. Funny story, true story. So the Lotto core to that lock came off of 410. All right, this one's, I'm taking a break on this one. I'm adult enough to say, hey, I need a timeout on this freaking really difficult federal lock. And we're not going to do that master lock too, because honestly, it kind of sucks to pick. It's not that it's super difficult, although that it isn't super easy either, but god damn, is it really annoying. All right, as you can see, this is also a federal lock. This is a model 300 hidden shackle. This one also has a story because guess who used to own this lock back in the day? I wonder if they're going to be defunded. Woke controllers are crashing planes into Army helicopters, folks. Look out. Baby Blue ran away because he's like, oh no, the woke controllers are going to crash a plane into... Shit. Woke controllers are dropping my... Okay. Have fun, Silvano, cooking eggs and turkey sausage. All right, Elijah's ducking out. Behave. Behave, folks. No buffoonery, no BSery, no tomfoolery. The chat is currently unmoderated except for me, whose both hands are busy picking locks. So now's the chance to go crazy. Delbert is here. Have no fear. No. Oh, that sound of pins dropping was very disappointing. I was also going to check in on the kitties soon, but I'm getting distracted by federal locks. We're going to try and pick this big honker. Oh, right, that's right. This one is actually this plate is actually these federal 300s are indeed respect his authority. Yeah, these plates are actually so thick that the standard short end that you would usually use doesn't engage properly on this lock. These federal 300s are beefy. Yeah, you actually got to use the long end. One of the few locks that I actually like. You have to use the long end. Yeah, these 300s are pretty hard to come by these days. Yeah, this federal's a big boy. You might ask, David, which one of the classes you speak, have spoken, or have taken classes in was that? None of them. Baby Blue, high speed. Uh-oh, Baby Blue's got the post-poop zoomies. I can smell it. What are you doing down there, Baby Blue? Meow. Zoom. Yep, he's got the post-poop zoomies. That's for sure. Zoomies confirmed. Here he comes again. Whee! Baby Blue. All right, the short end does not work. He's a baby blue, 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 baby blue. He's a little baby, baby, baby blue, baby blue. Woo, 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 baby blue. All right, y'all. I'm being quiet for far too long. Somebody in chat, give me something to bullshit about. Really, throw a topic down. I need something to go on an ADHD tangent. My mind is right now going. Baby Blue, I'm very much enjoying his presence. Whenever I sit on the couch and like relax, he comes over and hangs out with me, and it's quite cute. I'd like to see him integrate a little bit better with the other cats, but it's very early on, and it's not really adversarial for the most part. So I'm happy with that as it goes. Hardest lock picked. So the hardest level of lock on the belt scale that I've ever picked, Delbert, is brown. I've picked multiple brown belt locks. I have never picked what's above brown, red. I've never picked red or black belt, although I did get in on the Gold Z group buy recently, so maybe I will. And I do have some other red or black belt locks in the collection already, but I've never picked them. That being said, so my brown belt collect, yeah. So yeah, the hardest lock that I ever picked personally, I opened it exactly, or I'd say it's probably a two-way tie. As you know, and they're both from the brown belt thing. And then I'll give you a few locks that like sit in my naughty list that I've been trying for a really long time and I just can't get them. You know, and you'll notice that, and in regard to belt level, you'll notice something rather interesting about the ones that I can't get. And so, as a matter of fact, one of the hardest locks I've ever picked happens to be in frame, and it's this gold D9. It's, like I said, it's a brown belt lock. It's effectively a mini high pin count lock, with 9 pins. It's from Japan. Well, can you hear all those pins dropping? Anyways, so key looks like this. So it's got 3 pins on top. The center one is a max lift. And then 3 pins on the left and 3 pins on the right. Like all gold locks, it is phenomenally smooth in its function. But yeah, and this is, so yeah, but it's quite a compact little bit of evil. It's starting to get a little squeaky though. I picked this once. I picked it on a Picking Time Live, and I have yet to pick it ever again since. That's why it sits here taunting me. Because it's like, I know you possess this talent and skill and ability to open it. You just don't possess the talent, skill, and ability and patience to sit down and like work on it again the way you did the first time. Excuse me, pardon the scritchy scratch. And then number 2, and yeah, just high pin counts where you've got pins coming from 3 angles. You're guaranteed pretty much to have to float pick one side, especially with pretty good milling, which the D9 does have. And it's just, if gold locks are a lot of fun. Another one of the, I've also picked a gold P, which is also a brown belt lock, but that was considerably more fun, and I wouldn't say considerably less difficult, but it was less difficult in my opinion than the D9, because although its tolerances are impeccable, because all gold locks have exceptional tolerances, it's, when push comes to shove, it's just a 6-pin pin tumbler. You do kind of have to float pick it because the pins do lock into the milling fairly effectively, but beyond that, it's not that hard. The other one is this Medico biaxial cam lock, which came inside of this Medico Metro Lock padlock, which has been quite certainly seen some days. And I have also, this is another lock. This is the only Medico I've ever picked. It's also one of the hardest Medicos to pick on the belt scale. I believe the only one more difficult than the biaxial cam locks with 5 pins is the M4. I picked it once with COVID. Have not even tried to pick it since because I don't have the keys, and I'm hoping that somebody who has access to the blanks for this specific keyway can make me a key for this one, so that the first and so far only Medico lock I've ever successfully picked, which is also one of the harder ones, is fully functional. So yeah, so that's kind of a want. But yeah, those would be the top 2 hardest locks I've ever personally opened. I'm also just going to have to shout out, and by shout out, I mean give a hearty and heartfelt fuck you to Schleg Primus, which is one of those locks I've been working on for a really long time, like a really long time. And the finger pins hate me and I hate them. So I'm glad the feeling is mutual, but I have not gotten that open in a really long time. And although I will say one thing, and this is maybe to my benefit, when I first started trying to pick the frickin' Primus, it was a purple belt lock, and now it's a brown belt lock, as it should be. It is not a purple belt difficulty lock. I'm sorry. But yeah, and another lock that really torments me is the Ingersoll 10 lever core. I kind of hate that. Once again, because I think that one is currently ranked purple, and maybe just because I can't pick it, but I personally think that that's an underranking. It's they're not easy to pick by any stretch of the imagination. Like, funniest story of challenging locks, and it's not the most difficult lock I've ever picked, but once I did pick a multi-lock interactive on an airplane while it was flying, and I thought that was pretty freaking cool. That's one way to do the Mile High Lock Sport Club. Why? Strictly for vibes. That particular lock was, funnily enough, at the time was a brown belt level lock, but with the pinning that I have, it has since been downgraded to purple because it doesn't have the serrated pins. I had the one that used to be brown, but is no longer brown, where it's got the spooled inner driver pins with counter milling on the outer key pins that locks the pins together. Okay, True Builder, let me let Baby Blue say goodbye to you. Since you've been here this whole time and we've all been lockpicking. Baby Blue! Baby Blue! Baby Blue! Here, 1 second. Mr. Little Baby Blue. beep blue. No problem, True Builder. Have a good one, man. Stay safe. Beep beep blue. Oh, Baby Blue wants to kiss the camera. Baby Blue gives kisses to all of you folks. Blessings of Baby Blue upon you. Baby Blue. Yeah, look at this. This is such a good boy. This is a lap kitty, not a street kitty. He's for the sheets, not the streets. But look how much better he's doing now, too. Yeah. He's a good boy. Baby Blue.
Turning it live now for an interview with a kitty. Mr. Baby Blue, would you like a statement from you?
His statement is, I'm moving to this other chair. Baby boy. He is the babiest of baby blues. Okay, speaking of, hold on. 1 second, folks. Sorry, I need to take a brief moment. What in the bird scooter is going on? What's going on, baby boy? What's going on, baby boy? And just to be clear, this is baby blue, not the same. Baby boy, baby blue, baby boy, baby blue. No, that dude just sits outside and smokes all day. It's no biggie. Don't worry about him. Don't trip. Okay, federal locks are being very mean to me right now. It seems. Not being mean to me at all. But oh, best believe it, Silvana. If we can maybe do Trito time pretty soon. I want to get 1 or 2 more locks picked on stream. It's a little bit cheating, but we're doing the Stanley again. It's just such a satisfying lock to open, and it makes a really nice cordless hole puncher like noise when the shackle pops, which I find rather nice. Now, if only there was a way to mount. See, these came with the most Chinesium clips, and I should not complain because these were sub $40 microphones. So shut the fuck up and be happy, David. Anyway, we're just going to leave it over here, and when it picks up, it picks up, and when it doesn't pick up, it doesn't pick up. But I'm hoping it picks up at least a few clicks and the shackle popping. Assuming I can open the lock, which is assuming facts, not an evidence, as my mother would say. David, what was your mother? Of course, she was a lawyer with a statement like assuming facts, not an evidence. Oh no, but Silvana, also the Trito time is good bonding time for Baby Blue and the rest of the gang because they get to have positive experiences together. So aside from like the fact that it's going to drive my algorithm crazy and people will be coming in and the stream will go viral and thousands of people will be watching and I'll be rich and set for life and blah 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 and all that delusions of grandeur shit. It's beneficial to the cats in the house because it helps build community when they have positive experiences together. The Major League Baseball may expand. Okay, where to? Oakland, perchance? You don't need to expand. You need to force, what's that asshole's name, Steve Fisher or whatever, to sell the friggin' Athletics and move them back to Oakland where they belong. Hello, Francis Gino. Yeah, I mean, look, if they get a little roughhousey, they get a little roughhousey. It happens. But as long as the majority of the, as long as they're not fighting and they're just roughhousing, that's fine by me. And like I said, even if it gets to that point, they're still building community either way. And I mean, look, Ben and Fred play fight all the time. Like that's why they're so close is because their like idea of a good time is pretty much the same thing. Chase, play fight, lick. Mm. Am I forgetting something? It's not easy, but it's not hard. It is a very well made lock though, and it is also unfortunately discontinued. So I pick it with a certain amount of trepidation because although I can't break it with my pick really, I can, you know, I can damage it, and I'd like to keep it in as close to mint condition as possible. But yeah, these are. It's a shame that it is discontinued because when they were made, they were exceptionally good value for money. These Stanley padlocks. And they do have some rather unique anti-pick features that you don't see too frequently. Namely, the core on these guys is countermilled, although they don't fully take advantage of that with pinning because they don't use a whole lot of security pins, but if they used something like a barrel pin that would that would lock into the counter milling, this would be a much more difficult lock to pick than it is. As is, it's not especially difficult, but it's not hard either. Or sorry, that's synonymous. Although that being said, because of its design, it can be rekeyed with any key and knob cylinder. So while this standard core is difficult but not impossible, or somewhat difficult but not overly so, I should say, you can. What is that noise? You can put in something of much greater difficulty, and then this is a very formidable padlock. All right, I'm actually going to reset because I feel like I'm doing something very wrong here. But yeah, it's got some great features on it. Namely, it's got this drilling is a very common technique to attack locks. You just drill through the core and then you can access the actuator directly in the back and turn it. So this actually has this hardened steel spinner over here. So like I said, it's made of hardened steel, and if you go to attack it with a drill bit, the idea is that the drill bit is just going to capture this hardened steel and you don't get to access the soft brass that's in the back. And also, what you can't see is another way to compromise locks is to drill out, and let me see if I don't have, do I have a kick core? I don't have a key and knob cylinder core, but this is a Euro cylinder core, and the concept is the same, is that the pins are over here, and the chambers, the pin chambers go up into the Bible. Now, yes, this is a standard lock and this is a dimple lock, but this is just standard lock turned 90 degrees. That's all that is. Like, I had a master lock core here somewhere. Ah! So yeah. So yeah, the driver pins and springs are up here. So one technique people can do is you can drill through the top stack, and that's one way to compromise the lock. But another thing of this lock is that, and so the top of the Bible is actually over here. Behind this little dimple is actually a hardened ball bearing that rests there. That's designed that if you start drilling, you hit the hardened ball bearing, and it's supposed to shatter your drill bit. So, like I said, this is a very well designed lock, and it's a big pity that they're discontinued. Although although on the plus side, there are locks that are just as good, if not better, that are available. I'm not sure though that I can think of a better bargain, because these, when they were on sale, were, I believe, sub $30, and it is for what they represented, they were exceptional value. Thank you so much, True Builder. You rock, man. And on that note, throw a big heart in there, and
Now, the shackle pop sound.
like a finely oiled 1911. Just a beautiful noise. Just a beautiful noise. And a beautiful lock, too. So like I said, big shame that they're discontinued. And yeah, the keys are kind of fugly because they look like a bit like General Motors keys, to be honest with you. But but it's just a Schlage when you get down to it. But yeah, the shackle pop on this one is great. All right, one more. We'll do the Uscan, which I really enjoy. It's another Schlage type thing. This one doesn't have any counter milling though. But this one has a lot more security pins. I mean, yeah, I mean, look, I do not own any Pew Pews, although although I am in favor of responsible Pew Pew ownership. But yeah, you gotta love the 1911. That is an American icon. And to be honest with you, if I were gonna buy a Pew Pew, which, like I said, I wouldn't. It's just a personal standpoint. But it would be a 1911, not for any particular reason other than style points, because they're awesome. And yeah, you can go Glock or Sig Sauer or whatever, but 1911 is class. And it's an American classic too. So yeah, hoorah! This should not be constituted as firearm buying advice, purchase at your own will. Please use responsibly. Do not point it at anything you don't want to destroy. Side effects might include school shootings. Sorry. I don't think so, Elijah. I believe it was one of many designed by John Browning. Thank you, MMA Edits. I'm doing my best, Daddy boy. Exactly. Always treat a firearm as loaded. Do not put your finger on the trigger until you are ready to fire. And do not point it at anything you are not prepared to destroy, because that is the side effect of firing the pew-pew. Dang it, I dropped a pin going for that one. Damn it! Oh, yeah. Ah. This one's okay, but it's not as good as the Stanley. That Stanley's one of my favorite Jackal Pop sounds. It's just so, like I said, it's so gun-like in its like its precision. We'll do that one okay because I dropped the tensioner and I made a mess on. Cheating! You didn't repick it. Of course I didn't. Boom. It's very authoritative, but it doesn't have the ping. Or like maybe it's not a 1911. You know what it could be? Hold on, where is that lock? Where'd it go? David. Here it is. It's like the clip of an N1 Garand getting ejected. Yeah. John Browning, though, was a brilliant engineer responsible for a lot of brilliant firearms. The 1911 being but one of them. There's also the BAR. You know, these. All right. Beep, beep, blue. It's Trito time in the house. Everybody, come on out. It's Trito time in the house. Meow, 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 meow. Beep, beep, blue. Return of the Elijah. Where did Louisa go? Hello, Hossein Bukhari. Oh, there's Louisa. See, we're still working on close contact, or close quarters. They're fine being in the same room together, but too close, and one of the local cats, one of the longtime residents hisses, in this case, Ben. But we're making progress. Like I said, look, he doesn't, Ben's not minding that he's near Baby Blue. He just doesn't want to get into like extremely close quarters. Thank you, Silvana. Why is everybody so nice to me today? What did I do to deserve this? Was it the new microphone? Is everybody like, we never noticed how sexy your voice was, David, so we're giving you money for the microphone? Also, one thing I want to know, why is my AC not on? It's getting hot in this freaking room. I mean, it's hot in every room that I'm in. I'm just so steamy. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, Elijah, and I think it'll be great for when we're live at the colony, like next week, hopefully, because I'll be able to point something at the kitty cats, and because like that's the only thing that I really dislike previously, is that I had to choose between being able to hear surrounding things with my built-in microphone, but the audio quality is terrible, or I could have decent audio quality, but all you could hear was my voice and absolutely nothing else. Not the sound of kitties, not the sound of clicks, not the sound of passing sounds, nothing. You could only hear my voice. That's how effective the Apple AirPods noise canceling was. Absolute insanity. Whereas now, hopefully my voice is clear, but you can also hear the sounds of kitties going meow. Like when I had the mic next to Baby Blue, I hope you could hear him purring and a little bit of wheezing, but that's just because Baby Blue is a Baby Blue. But I hope you can hear the purrs. And like, the new uploads. I hope you guys could hear Fats. I know, Silvana, you said you couldn't really hear the chewing sounds. They're going to be tough to pick up. But if you jack up the volume while the cats are eating, obviously be careful, but you'll be able to hear like kind of. We're really going for that ASMR kitty content. Just Louisa looks rather unenthused. Oh, thank you, Silvana. Oh, by the way, all of you folks are good people too. You know what it takes to be a good person? You have to try to do good things. All right, shall we watch me be kind of annoyed to the highest or sorry. All right, yeah. I'm going to struggle with the D9 for a little while. Yeah. I'm still working out the positioning for the main colony because there's like so many cats and like also like where I and like because also there's so many bowls, so like where I place the microphone might not be where like necessarily where most of the cats are eating. Or if I hit this or size K, you know what? I can put this sucker back in the thingamajigger. So now you guys get to watch me struggle with a Japanese lock. Now, you know what's crazy? The Japanese make some of the hardest locks to pick in the world. And in the country of Japan, lock picking is profoundly illegal to the point that possession of lock picking tools, if you're not a locksmith, can land you in prison. And keep in mind that Japan's legal system has a well over 90% conviction rate. So effectively speaking, if you are caught with lock picking tools in the country of Japan, you are going to jail. Why don't I have my iPad so I can do that? You know what? Jail. Just for that, jail. Straight to jail. But yeah. But despite the strong illegality of lock picking in Japan, they have some of the hardest locks with some of the best anti-pick features in the world. So anyways, you all are going to watch me struggle on what is not even one of the hardest Japanese locks. It's just one of the Japanese locks of all time. That's all it is. It is one of the Japanese locks of all time, and yet it is comfortably better than, I would say, well over 90% of the locks in common use in the United States. And considering its small size, I don't even know if this is like a main door lock in Japan. I don't have as much knowledge of like the actual like usage and application of these locks. Well, you know what, Silvana, and this is an example of the chintziness, is literally like when I was first pulling them out, I've already broken like the clip on this one because the spring just went flying and it's somewhere in my car and I don't know where that somewhere is. I'm sure I may or may not find it. It is not very optimistic, but yeah. Yeah, Japan has some very, very difficult locks to pick, and this is probably medium on their low power. Okay, we are at 20% battery, folks. So that's how we're doing. So you get to watch me struggle with this gold D9 for a little bit. Maybe I pick it, probably don't. I have to tell y'all one thing, and this is not like especially considering that I live in a backsliding democracy, and yeah, Japanese locks are next level. Like Elijah said, even the easy ones are not so easy. But yeah, I also think it remains to be seen whether this kind of like whether these kind of like whatchamacallit, it's a French type word, whether these shit lavalier microphones are the solution, or whether I should get something like a shotgun mic that I can like put on like on like a boom and hold it above the cats while they eat, and maybe that would have a wider area of coverage. Remains to be seen. Yes, Japan makes exceptional locks. Hey, did the new mic pick up the sound of all those pins dropping just then? Because, yeah. Also, yes, if anybody's curious, this is a homemade tensioner made from an Allen key. Or Allen wrench. Or hex wrench, if you want to be technical. Well, that was a nice click there. Yeah, I need to get Philip Seymour Hoffman and to be like my mic holder a la Boogie Nights. May he rest in peace. Yeah. funny, but on Friday I had my monthly lockpicking meetup, and Artichoke 2000, aka Artie, asked me, "So what have you been picking lately, David?" And I was like, "Nothing but the finest of Dudu Kaka." Because he actually picks a lot of high security locks, unlike me, who mostly picks shit. And I'm like, yeah. Because like as fun as it is to struggle with this goal, I haven't gotten an open on it in quite some time. And also, when am I gonna find a small Japanese um cylinder type kick type lock thing in Freedom Land? Let me give you a guess, time to guess that it's sometime between never and a long time. Although I will say, rather hilariously, the place my brother got married, they didn't have Japanese locks, but because it was like an old California like mansion type situation, and all the doors were mortised. Um, yeah, all the buildings were mortised, but with like old style fittings, which are not really made in the United States anymore. So all the like mortise fittings themselves were Miwas, which is a Japanese company. But the locks but they were for like interior sliding doors and stuff like that, where like the mortise fitting is smaller. And I guess they just don't make shit like that in the United States any longer. Because yeah, mortise cylinder locks are kind of rare these days in the United States, especially in residential areas. Like obviously the Adams Right system is still used all the time, especially in like commercial doors and whatnot. But like in your house, residentially, we're mostly deadbolts, key and knob cylinders, stuff like that. But yes, Silvana, Artie is an exceptional picker of locks, much better than myself. Although that being said, and rather hilariously, no, I wanted to adjust and I slipped and I think I lost everything. No, maybe not. Yeah, so I made this tensioner out of an Allen wrench just to try and like get a better grip because the keyway is freaking wide open. So it's a 3mm Allen wrench that I flattened out, but it's not perfect. You know who is perfect? Emily. Oh yeah, right. I'm gonna be like one thing. Meehy boop. Just because it's a high security lock, and just because it's a brown belt lock, and just because we're technically in my lock lab, doesn't mean we need to be super all stressed. And I'm starting to get a little overstressed, so I'm just gonna take my shoes off and relax. We're gonna pick relax style. I'm not the lockpicking lawyer. I'm the lockpicking meower. Y'all have seen my face. See? And a meower will emerge. Meehy boop. Yeah, fortunately, the cat distribution system has been very generous to me. Yes, Mrs. Boop. Is that your dawn call? And how's it going, Mason? Welcome to the live. We're chilling here. We're picking a lock that I find rather annoying and difficult, and one of my cats is catty. So, considering it's 10 after 8, and I'm getting a little hungry, and I'm at 15% battery. We're not calling the stream just yet because I'm willing to run it down to about 7%, maybe 5 before I'm like, no mas! But I am getting hungry. What should I be eating for dinner? Thai food, maybe? Oh no, that's a methed up thing to say, man. I'm sure there was method to that man's madness. Okay, we heard the meow. Missy Poop, they heard your meow. Oh, are we talking tuna fish or like tuna like sashimi? Because sashimi can't afford it, but like tuna sandwich is a maybe. Pasta is solid maybe too. I don't think I had any Italian food this week, so maybe I want to do that. Okay, speaking since the two suggestions so far are tuna and pasta, can I just say that one thing I just do not understand, and I'm sorry if this is your thing, but I just do not understand dishes that involve canned tuna and pasta. I mean, obviously, the main culprit of this is friggin' tuna noodle casserole. Ugh! Ugh! You know, oh, oh, I do like a good vodka sauce. Maybe I want to do like an amatriciana, like a spicy tomato sauce with guanciale. And anyways, regardless of that, but yeah, can I just say that in my opinion, putting canned tuna with pasta is an absolute affront to God. Quesadilla is a good call also because there's a Mexican food place right down the block from me, so I don't even need to get in a car or nothing. And you'd be like, oh, you should just make your own quesadilla. Yeah, I should, but I'm lazy. And I don't have any freaking slow cooked meats right now. Although I could just go to friggin' Ralph's and buy like some chorizo. But yeah, tuna noodle casserole. Sorry, that is an affront to God. And I know like the whole like joke about like white people can't make good food is BS. But in the face of tuna noodle casserole, it's really hard to argue against it because that shit is garbaggio. I bleh, 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 bleh. That shit is nasty. Who's like, yeah, you know what my idea of a good meal is? Let's take freaking noodles. Let's take freaking noodles, canned tuna, cream of mushroom and or cream of chicken soup, peas, cheddar cheese, breadcrumbs, them all together and serve it up to people baked. Why? What? What kind of affront to God is that? See, that's the thing. I can't make good lengua and cabeza. Like, I can definitely go with, like, as far as like a burrito or a quesadilla, I'm like, oh, it's a bit of a splurge for me, but you guys have been super jealous, so maybe or not super jealous, super generous today, so maybe I can go for it. Ha ha! Ask and you shall receive. I actually, Elijah, let's change that ban to like 1 minute, and just so he can come back and be like, "What? Like, you literally asked us to do this. Like, this is what you voted for, my guy." A very common thing that I've been saying to people in the United States of late, because oh, garlic bread is always a win, Silvana. You know what? You know what? One of my personal things to do is I love to get like the cheap, like store brand garlic bread, like the oh yeah, Delbert knows what it's up. Taco truck time. There's no like taco truck super close to where I live, but there is a Philly cheesesteak truck, which is not bad. It's called College Boy. But yeah, my favorite thing to do with garlic bread is to get like the cheapo garlic bread that comes in like a 15 pack or whatever for like $4.99. Put it on a baking tray, whip and put some mozzarella cheese and some parm on top, and then let the cheese melt onto the garlic bread. Now we're heaven. I'm in heaven, and then I'm gonna be in coronary land. But it was worth it. Exactly, Delbert. I'm all about the FAFO. 2025 is the year of FAFO, so just keep on FAFOing, everybody. Looks like today isn't a brown belt kind of day, folks. And you know what? I honestly, I don't mind that. It's okay to say, you know what? I don't feel like picking difficult locks today. I feel like picking to relax, not to challenge myself necessarily. I'm going to pick locks that are fun, not like, this is really difficult to pick. Not everything needs to be an exercise in extreme frustration. Some things can just be master locks that are very rare, but also not exceedingly difficult. I will say this, these master locks, this is the model 992 with the very sexy chrome steel body. And it's little boy, the 991. And both of these guys are unfortunately discontinued because Master Lock doesn't let us have anything nice, but they're very pretty bodies. And unlike their very similar looking Pro Series brethren, these make exceptional shackle pops with their sprung shackles. So since we now have the shackle pop mic, yeah. Why, thank you, Elijah. I get that comment all the time. Oh yeah, that's a good meal. Now you're eating good. Do we need vegetables? No, the pasta is the vegetables. There's tomato in the sauce. Fuck green shit. I want red shit, brown shit. The best kind of food is brown. Like, this is where I get one of those. Oh shit! I get one of those like fucking bullshit ass like Steven Crowder like something convince me otherwise type things, and I'm just be like, the best food in the world is the color brown. Convince me otherwise. Also, fuck Steven Crowder, but that's besides the point. Oh no, 10% battery. Oh, what? I'm like, why am I struggling more than I'm not using the pick I like to use. We're going downtown to Browntown, people. I'm not sure, Delbert, but I seem to remember that in the 80s, Ronald Reagan actually tried to get ketchup classified as a vegetable for the purposes of school lunch. But I don't know. I don't know. That was stage one. First, we feed the children shit, and then we don't feed them anything whatsoever. But yeah, I believe you're right. Okay, Elijah, explain, please. Or sorry, should I say, hey brother, you gotta explain. I gotta eat my vegetables. Look, if you eat your vegetables, say your prayers, and do your exercises, you can do anything, brother. And yes, in case anybody was curious, I'm still smoking on Hulk Hogan pack. Fuck that dude. You know it's been too long that, speaking of pasta, you know it's been too long that I haven't had that's really good is like a nice, like a really nice cacio e pepe or like a carbonara or something like that. Like a really nice, like some sort of like classical Italian pasta dish that you have to make that is like focusing on like you have to make it pretty much like fast and that like you basically make the sauce via by whisking the noodle vigorously and basically forming an emulsion. Carbonara is so good. Not a baked potato is my favorite kind of potato. Yep. Hold on. That either that. I'll tell you one thing: the fucking Randy Macho Man Savage and yeah, Randy Savage and the fucking Iron Sheik are like at the gates of heaven, making sure that fucking the Hulkster goes to the hot place instead. If you believe in the upper and lower rooms. As far as my goes, he can just rest in piss. Bye bye. Shirt. It's based on como se llama? I forget the dude's name. It's from an art museum exhibition. I'm very millennial dad chic in my fashion sense, and I'm totally cool with that, by the way. Why do I feel like this chat is like way behind? Or like Silvana, are you like watching from 5 minutes ago? Because like I feel like your comments are like from what we were doing 5 minutes ago. Hulk, yeah, but yeah. I mean, aside from just being a general piece of shit, Hulk did so much bad for wrestlers because when Jesse Ventura was trying to unionize the WWF and make the wrestlers who wrestled for fucking that piece of shit Vince to make them employees so that they could collectively bargain and get benefits, Vince fucking Hulkster was one of the major like opposers of that, and that's bullshit. And because so many former wrestlers from fucking, I mean, the Hulk himself, but fucking Jake the Snake and Bret Hitman Hart, like so many former wrestlers could have benefited from a retirement plan. It's so like, so yeah, fuck Hulk for that one. Smoking on Terry Pack now and forever. Because best believe, even though wrestling is technically it's kayfabe or whatever, them shits hurt. Getting a chair slammed on your head fucking hurts. In the same way that the bodies of, because he's a piece of shit. Ah, yeah. Like Delbert said, China Doll, rest in peace. So many former professional wrestling. Like I said, the results might be predetermined, the fighting might be fake or whatever, but that shit still hurts, And in the same way that NFL players have to deal with, the effects of repetitive hits to the head and concussions and whatnot, wrestlers do too. And the NFL had to pay out hundreds of millions of dollars to the NFLPA, one of the worst professional unions in professional sports. Oh, sorry, while I was bullshitting. Bam. A union that is completely in bed with management in a way that a union should never be. But they still manage to do the bare minimum of things for their players, and they just don't have that for. If you like soft-boiled eggs, you should see the brains of many former NFL players. But yeah, and for the record, like I said, I love the NFL. I love combat sports. I love I love wrestling. I fucking hate Vince McMahon, so for a long time I didn't watch any of it because of like the good stuff is run by a huge fucking piece of shit, and the other stuff is just less good. Sorry. And also, like, I ain't got the money to pay for your stuff, and the only stuff that's really like on common. Yeah, he did. He was very anti-union in general, but like, you know, it's look, if you want to be that way, be that way. But I strenuously disagree with you because with that because I mean because yeah, I mean, look, the bosses will try to screw out the workers out of a bag any day of the week and twice on Sunday. Also, I'm at 5% battery, so we are really wrapping up. Yeah, I kind of agree with Delbert. I do like UFC. I do kind of hate the like post Reebok deal, post like Maymac UFC because there's just a lot. There's a lot like there aren't like there aren't like the same like magnetic personalities like Anderson Silva, for example, that there were back in the day. You know, people like Spider, people like everyone's favorite heel, Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar was so much fun. The asshole of UFC. Love it. Good night, Les. Thanks for swinging by. Or like, what about all the people from like the Pride days, like freaking Shogun Hua? That dude was awesome. Chuck Liddell. I love Chuck Liddell. Young Chuck Liddell, not old Chuck Liddell. That was sad. But I love Chuck Liddell. He was so much fun. Or like or like all the people from Tough One, freaking Stephen Bonner and who did he fight at the end? The name is slipping me and I hate it. Who fought Stephen Bonner in the finale of season 1 of Tough? When y'all put the name in there, I'm gonna be so upset that it's slipping my head right now. Fuck. Forrest Griffin. That's what it was. But yeah, new UFC where there's like the Reebok, like I said, post Reebok deal where there's way more like grappling and way fewer knockouts. Like that's one way. That's an interesting job. But yeah, I like old UFC was fabulous. New UFC is kind of less so, and Dana's become like even more of a jerk face than he already was as he gets older. And also, and I think I've said this before, but I'll say it again, fuck Power Slap. Like I almost wanted to stop watching UFC just because Dana did that fucking Power Slap bullshit. That was so like obscenely not okay in my opinion. Anywho, ladies, gentlemen, and the amazing Technicolor rainbow in between, with the sounding of fuck Power Slap, I'm at 4% battery, so I'm gonna say thank y'all for hanging out with me. I hope you enjoyed the new live microphone edition, and hopefully this goes really well next week when we're live at the Colony. But whoa, Yin Yet popped in. Hi Yin Yet, bye Yin Yet. by Elijah, by Delbert, by Silvana. Les already left. Who else is in the chat that I need to say goodbye to? I think that's the main ones that we need to say goodbye to. Yeah, so bye, everybody. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for being awesome. And last but not least, because of course we got to let them say goodbye. Baby Blue says bye. Baby Boy says bye. And my other kitties are upstairs. We're not going to get to them. But Baby Blue is very comfy. And with that, I'll hit you with my traditional bye.